Hello with our new session about opening tricks, traps, and tips. And our session today about sacrifice on the weak spot before castling. A weak spot in the chess game is very well known. It's on the f2 and f7 square. So it's usually to sacrifice a minor piece on f2 and f7, the weak spot before castling, in order to force the enemy king to capture and therefore not to be able to castle. So this is only a good idea if there is an immediate attack. Of course, we don't sacrifice it for nothing. So sacrificing a 3 points piece for a pawn isn't worth it just to make the other side not to castle. So even sacrificing a minor piece or 2 pawns isn't generally going to be worthwhile unless there is a concrete follow-up. So in order to illustrate the improper sacrifice on the weak spot, so normally we ask the student to estimate and evaluate the position and must answer with correct moves and variations. So generally castling is worth about a half point. So in case you are gaining a half point, not to let your opponent to castle, so you are gaining a half point by sacrificing your piece 3 points, like the knight or the bishop. So you have to calculate very well. So and now we will start looking for some examples about sacrificing on the weak spots or squares. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, knight c6, sorry, d4, e takes d4, bishop c4, and this is a gambit to accelerate the development for white. Bishop to c5, protecting and developing. This is a very good moves to do two things with one move. And now c3, giving another pawn to accelerate the development for white. So now in case knight to f6 is a good move, but let's consider another move is d takes c3. So d takes c3 now looks like a bad move because or bad idea because it allows white to accelerate his position, accelerate his development, and allows white to sacrifice on the f7 pawn, f7 square. Bishop takes f7. So this is now our example for this game. Bishop takes f7. So now the king is forced to take. So now he loses the right to castle. Queen to d4. Sorry, queen to d5 and attack the king and the bishop at the same time. So we are gaining back our piece. In case king to g6, going with the king to the center at the opening is very, very bad and very suicidal idea. Queen to f5 and checkmate. So back in case king to f8, queen takes c5 with check. So we are gaining back our piece. The black king losing his right of castling. So d6 and queen takes c3. I'm now counting the pieces and counting the material. So we have 6 pawns for 6 pawns. The king still in the center. He loses his right of castling, and our king is safe, and we are going to castle now, and everything is good for white. So now in case queen to f6 trying to exchange queens, maybe it's a good idea, but to release some pressure from black. So back to the game. In the game knight to f6, trying to develop castling. Great idea. Of course, we continue with our standard rule. We have to develop and castle in the opening. So now in case knight takes e4, so black continues with his greedy attitude and trying to gain pawns, and still his king in the center. So, and this is a wrong strategy. So queen to c2, attacking the knight. Knight goes back to f6. Knight to c3, continuing our development. And this is good for white, actually. So back to the game, in case king to f7. Queen to b3. Bishop to e6. And knight to g5. And this is winning for white. So back to the game, knight to g5, check. In case king to e8, f4, and we'll continue with e5 and a great and powerful attack for white. In case king to g6, and as we mentioned before, going to the middle of the game, it's not a good idea for the king, because all the white pieces now ready to attack the king. So in case f4, and this is excellent idea, we're trying to push f5. Another idea, queen to g3, also trying to discover check. Knight to h5, attacking the queen, maybe. So queen to b3 played in the game. Knight to e5, f4, and now rook to f8, f5. Bishop takes f5 in case. E takes f5 check, king h6, and now we have discovered check, like knight f7 attacking the queen and forking the king and the queen, and the bishop is attacking, and so this is winning for white. King f5, queen to h3, checkmate actually. In case queen to f3 check, knight to h5, knight f7 check, forking the queen also and the king, and this is winning for white actually. So back to the game, king to h5 played, queen h3 check, and also this is a checkmate. So this is the first example of attacking the weak spot in the game to get the advantage and force the opponent king to the middle of the game, like we saw in this example. So let's see now our next example. So this is the second example, e4, e5, knight f3, knight to c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, knight to f6, d4, e takes d4. Now e5, d5 is a possible variation, but let's stick to the game. In the game, c takes d4, and bishop to d4 check. So bishop to d2. In case bishop takes d2, knight b takes d2, d5, e takes d5, knight takes d5, and the game continues normally. In case knight takes e4, bishop takes b4, knight takes b4, bishop now takes f7, as we mentioned. This is our topic for this session. King takes f7, queen to b3, and now we see why we sacrificed our bishop on f7. d5, protecting the king. Knight to e5 also. We are not in a hurry to take the bishop, the knight on b4. King to e6. Now the king coming to the center, and this is bad. Queen takes b4, and now queen to f8. Smart move from black. So he wants to exchange queens and also threatening the f2 square. So of course white is forced to exchange now. Queen takes, rook takes. Still the f2 pawn is under attack. Knight to c3. In case rook takes f2, and this is a blunder actually, because knight takes e4, and now the rook on f2 is hanging. In case knight takes f2, also this is a blunder because of the castling, and now the knight is lost, or the rook on f8. So back to the game, c6 was played. c6, f3, knight to d6, king to f2, connecting the rooks. This is important idea. Rook h to e1, and in case knight takes e4, knight takes d4, knight takes c6 with check, and we can take the knight. So king to d6, rook a to d1. Like this is a very good setup for white. The rooks in the center, the knights with a good spot on e5 and c3, but still black is not bad also. So g6, b4, bishop to d7, and we have some issue with the bishop on d7 is a light square bishop, so we don't have to put our pawns like this on white squares, because this is the space for the bishop. So as a general rule, we have to put our pawns on the other color of our bishop. So knight to a4, b6, preventing knight to c5, rook to d2, rook a to e8, knight to c3 back, rook to e7, rook to c1, bishop to e8. Now both are maneuvering, but no one is getting any advantage or any benefits from his maneuvering. So knight to e2, knight to g7, rook to e1, knight to e6, knight to c1. In case knight takes d4, also as we mentioned, knight to c4 with check, discover check, d takes c4, and rook takes d4. So rook to f4, knight c to d3. This move will cause a loss of a pawn on d4. So knight to e2, attacking and protecting the pawn on d4, rook to f5, knight to c3. In case knight takes d4, also the same issue. Discover check. So rook to f4, knight to e2, and this is a draw. But still, we have the topic of our session, sacrificing a pawn, sacrificing on the f7 and f2 pawn, f2 squares. So let's see the next example. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. The Roy Lopez, Spanish opponent, a6, bishop a4, knight to f6, castling, knight takes e4, b4, b5, bishop to b3, d5, d takes e5, bishop to a6, knight b to d2, knight to c5, c3, d4, knight to g5. And now with this move we have many variations. So in case queen takes g5, queen to f3, and this is very dangerous, attacking the knight. In case protecting the knight, bishop takes or queen takes f7, and also we have this knight to e4 or to c4. So white will get a good compensation for the sacrifice. Another variation, in case d takes c3, knight takes e6, attacking the queen, f take e6, b takes c3, and as we see, of course, white's position much better. So b5, bishop to d5, and the game was played. Knight takes f7, and this is our topic for today's session. Knight take f7, excellent move. Now king is forced to take. In case bishop takes f7, bishop takes f7, king takes f7, and queen to f3. As we mentioned before, the queen will fork the king and the knight. In the game, king takes f7, queen to f3, and also we notice this bishop is pinned. So now the white starts his attack, and let's see how he get benefit from this sacrifice. King to e6, protecting the bishop also, one more time. Queen to g4, check. In case king to e7, e6, or queen to f5. So e6, bishop takes e6, rook to e1. Look how white improves the position of his pieces with tempo. The bishop is also pinned now. In case knight takes b3, knight takes b3, and the bishop is coming to g5, skewering the king and the queen. So this is very dangerous for black. So back to the game. After king takes f7, Queen to f5, check. King to e7, e6, threatening f7, of course. Queen to f7, bishop takes e6, and now we can take with the queen on c5, or as in the game, rook to e1, and white choose to play the most dangerous moves and most attacking one. So it's not good to just exchange pieces just to like without any advantage, without gaining any advantage, just exchanging the bishop for the knight or so. It's good to have the most of your pieces. So queen to d6 to protect everything. The bishop on e6 and the knight on c5. Bishop takes e6, knight takes e6, knight to e4, and now the knight is coming and may exert some pressure against the knight and against the queen. Queen to e5, trying to exchange. Bishop to g5, check. And now in case king to e8, knight to f6. So now multiple purposes for this move. The knight is attacking the king, the rook is attacking the queen, and also the queen is attacking the queen attacking the knight. And other variation, in case knight takes g5, knight takes g5, and the queen is pinned. So it's lost, of course. So back to the game, king to d7. So maybe black saw all these variations. Knight to c5, check. So the knight is pinned. In case queen takes c5, queen takes e6, check. And this is checkmate, of course. So bishop takes c5, queen f7. We are not in a hurry to take here on d4. Maybe we can get checkmate for no further moves. So queen to f7, king to d6, bishop to e7, check. And after this, actually black resigned, because where to go? He's losing too much material, he's in the center, and he cannot do anything. So this is the game, the second example. So let's see the next one. So in the next one, e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. So the Russian defense or the Petrov defense. Knight takes e5, d6, and knight takes on f7. And actually this is called the Cochrane gambit, or Cochrane, something like this. Cochrane gambit. I don't know its pronunciation, proper pronunciation, I don't know. So this is the Cochrane defense or gambit. So, and it's between two grandmasters. Not grandmasters, but two strong players. One maybe it's a grandmaster. So knight takes f7. Not especially a very winning one, but it may cause black to go wrong and can white win quickly. So king takes f7. Now black actually loses the right of forecasting. So let's see how white will benefit from this. of course, before. Now we have to open the position for our pieces. C5, maybe this is the best response for this game, for this move. Bishop to C4, attack. Of course, whites don't like black to go with his king to G8. So let's see. Bishop to E6. Bishop takes E6. King E6. Knight to C3. King to F7. Going back, of course. Now D takes C5. In case D takes C5, now the queen is lost. Of course not. Knight to C6. Developing, and now the queen is now protected by the rook. Queen to E2. Now preparing the advance, or bishop to G5, and now after that we can castle. Queen to D7. In case queen to C4, queen to E6. So bishop to E3, D takes C5, and F4 maybe can be played, and rook to E8. But we don't recommend any further weakening of the white position by pushing the pawns or advancing the pawns. So back to the game. Rook to D1, of course, to attack the queen. Queen to E6, and now F4 maybe can be played. Knight to D4, attacking the queen. In case bishop takes D4, CD4, rook D4, bishop C5. And now maybe white can hold, but it's not recommended. So F5, attacking the queen also. Queen to A6. Now, of course, black is he is up material and up a piece. So it's for his benefit to try to exchange queens and exchange pieces, and he will be up material. So queen takes A6 maybe can be played, and B takes F6. And now look to the weaknesses in the black's camp. But in the game, bishop takes D4. So bishop takes D4, queen takes E2, king takes E2, and C takes D4. Rook takes D4, and now we have 4 pawns for black against 7 for white, but black is up a piece. He is up a bishop. So in case how to evaluate a piece against 4 pawns or against 3, so this is difficult to say now. Let's see how the game continues. Bishop to C5, attacking the rook. Rook to D3. Rook H to E8. Now exerting a pressure against the weakness in the white camp. King to F3. Rook to E5. G4. Rook A to E8. And we don't forget about the E4 pawn. Rook to E1. Rook H to E1. So bishop to B4. In case rook to D4 maybe can be played, but also rook E to E3, bishop C3, rook C3, knight to E4. And now black snatch a pawn. Now 2 pawns against a piece will remain. So rook to C7 check, king to G8. But this is will lose a pawn. So let's see, king to F4, attacking the rook also. G5, attacking the king. So F takes G6, H takes G6, H4. So actually white going all out for the attack. Rook to E6, rook to A3, attacking the pawn on on a7. Rook to f6 check. This is dangerous to put the king under a discovered check. So let's see. Knight to d6, discovered check. King to d2, and knight to b5, forking the two rooks. So after this, of course, white resigned because he is going to lose more material, and this is losing for black. So, but it's not necessary when white sacrifices knight on f7 is going to win. Maybe black somehow can manage to win, as we saw. So let's see the next example, but this is another topic. So for this region, maybe you can sacrifice a piece on f2 or f7 before castling. Is a tempting idea. So for this reason, if you want to be justified for this reason, for this idea, or for the sacrifice, so the sacrifice must be able to follow up with a quick attack. So black king or any king who was under attack could be immediately targeted. So there are many sacrifices on the weak spot that lead to a quick regaining of material, such as in the examples as we saw. So this is our session for today about attacking on f7 and f2. And there is many openings, ideas on these sacrifices. So see you next session about another topic in the opening as tricks or traps and tips. And goodbye for now.